There we go. Welcome. How cool is that?
That's so good.
Awesome.
That's so good.
So yeah, all shout outs go to my wife Sarah. She came up with that. That was really cool.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was really good. I like that.
Just a bit of fun. And no copyrights there. That was all free. Sounding Star Wars music.
We've learned our lesson, right?
We definitely learned our lesson. But welcome everyone to another Dean and Skree episode where we're talking Star Wars. As you saw, we're talking all things Star Wars, and we are missing one of our crew, Ian. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, so he's got something going on that just took him away. But still, we've got Jason, middle-aged Kiwi man, collecting Star Wars figures. How are you, mate?
I'm awesome, Dean and Skree. Thanks for having me on your show. This is really cool, and I love that your wife did the research. Described as both middle-aged and collecting Star Wars figures, so she really knows her stuff. She knows her lore.
She does.
But doing really great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, mate. And Phil, all the way from Japan. How you going,
G'day,
mate?
guys. Doing excellent. Yeah, again, thanks for having me on as well. And it's just been an awesome few weeks with Star Wars Celebration and stuff. So looking forward to having a bit of a chat about that and just, reminiscing about, the last couple of weeks. Should be good.
Well, both of you boys were there and got to enjoy that. So I can't wait to dive in and talk about that. But Skree, my man, what's going on?
I'm doing good. I been excited for this episode, being a Star Wars noob. So I'm looking forward to learning a lot of knowledge and diving back into some Star Wars stuff. So it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
There's a lot out there.
Taking your first steps into a larger world.
Pretty much everything we say tonight will just be Star Wars.
It'll just be like,
just enjoy it. But yeah, so you guys went to Star Wars Celebration, so that was back over the Easter period in April, and yeah, I guess I want to start there. I want to find out straight from the two guys. Wow, what did you think about it? I do have some photos I'll share as we go, but yeah, just your first impressions of Star Wars Celebration. Who wants to go first?
Okay. And actually, it seems like such a long time ago because I was telling a few people it's the kind of thing that you look forward to for ages and ages. And, the build up to it just seemed to take forever. And then when it got around, it just went by so quickly. So for me, I took my daughter Leona. We went on the final day on the Sunday, and I hadn't really been to any kind of convention before. So it was a totally new experience for me. So I didn't really know what I was going to basically. And so we just went there just to lap it all up. And we didn't sort of pre-order any sort of meet or greets or autographs or anything like that. We just went to sort of soak it all up. And it definitely exceeded my expectations. Like it was just a full day of, sensory overload, basically. Just all of the cosplay. As soon as you walked into the main exhibition area, you were hit with all the Hasbro displays as well. Yeah. So again, for me, seeing all the HasLabs and all that on display was just so cool. And my little one got a bit tired after a few hours, but I was the kid on the day, and I was kind of kicking my feet in and wanting to stay longer and longer. So it was great. It was it definitely exceeded what I was expecting.
Yeah, no, and it's great that you got to do it with your little one. But then you also get to go home and sleep in your own bed too, not like everyone else.
Yeah, that was handy. Yeah.
How did you find it, Jason?
Incredible, and I think the journey for me, because a little bit further for me to go, started about a year ago because the tickets for Star Wars Celebration went on sale Star Wars weekend last year, and I remember sitting in the lounge going, "Oh my god, I've always wanted to go to one of these." And my wife just said, "You're going to do it anyway. Just buy them." So I bought myself tickets, and then I had a few months to sort of turn that into a family holiday. So that was nice that it ended up in the middle of the school holidays. I was able to take wife and kids and they turned up for the first day, and it just got to the point I was in line for a long, long time, and I think they were getting scratchy, and there was a bit of like, "Hey, this is your thing. We might head back to the hotel." And I was just like, "But thank you for coming." And yeah, and to me, the Hasbro stuff that was really why I was there, and wanting to meet the team that make it, and really lucky enough to get an interview with those guys, and that was a lot of fun. But it was really about meeting guys like this guy here that I've met on live streams like this, and getting to hang out in person, and go out for a nice meal, and and just meeting people from all around the world. And my wife said to me the other day, "Yeah, man, I love that picture." That was cool. And I remember saying to my wife, I'm gonna catch up with some people that I know. She's like, "How do you know them?" I'm like, "Well, we met online and through YouTube and stuff." And she's like, "Are they weirdos?" Like, there's a bit of, and then like after we met out, they're like, "Oh, it feels really nice." And it's like, yeah, these are real nice people. She said to me the other day, she said, we turned up to Celebration. She said, "And you just started working the room." And I was like, I wasn't working the room. I was just talking to people about something I'm passionate about. It was really, so that was cool. Like the event itself was crazy and busy and kind of overwhelming. But yeah, just getting to meet up with people and see some stuff was just super awesome. Really, really lucky.
It's crazy. We were brought up not to go meet strangers that you met on the internet, but
yeah,
they're lovely people.
But I gotta ask from a noob sort of side. Can you explain what actually Star Wars Celebration is? Like what it's kind of related to? Like, is it a convention? Is it a 1-day event, 2-day event, or is it like a whole month?
Yeah, so it's a 3-day event.
Wow.
My passes for the 3 days. So it's held every. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Because I know the artwork was all different on each one, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they were awesome, and I saw Leona got a different one altogether, for a kids one. Which
is
really cool.
I've got one. I've got one that Jason doesn't have.
That's so cool.
That was the kids one on the Sunday. So,
that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, like the designs are just so awesome. The sort of the Japanese kind of art.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. It's basically a convention. It's 3 days of everything Star Wars. So. Wow. Everything from the toys. So there was, Hasbro booth, there was Lego, there was Hot Toys, there was Jazzwares, to, I guess, fashion and stuff. And I think being in Japan this time around, there was lots of like Japanese influence. There's like stages, like multiple stages where they show trailers and the stars come out and they interview them and stuff like that. So and as Phil said, the cosplay is just kind of incredible. So it's a sort of every couple of years, mostly in the States. The one previous to this was in London. So they go outside of states occasionally. Next one's in LA in 2027.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's the first time that Japan's hosted it, so it was a big thing because Star Wars is still big over here. And for me, because I collect a lot of different Western toy lines, I guess, and by far Star Wars is the biggest. So there is a massive fan base over here, and they definitely, a lot of them came out to play during Star Wars Celebration. So that was probably one of my highlights. Actually, was seeing like the Japanese interacting with people coming from America or whatever, and getting photos taken with each other. And again, it's just that common interest, and the sort of the language barriers got broken down. So that was awesome just to see, the hosts and people from abroad just interacting and just loving Star Wars together. Basically, it was really cool.
It's really cool.
Wow. Yeah, I'll just say hello to a few people that have popped in. So,
g'day, Nate.
Hey, Nate.
Nate, appreciate you coming in. Skree's here saying hi to himself. He likes it. You're all doing that. Nate's saying, "Love this. What a way to start." Appreciate that, mate. Leona's a little legend. She looked like she had fun. She did look like she crashed.
She did. Yeah, no, she did. Yeah, luckily they had a few. G'day, Matt, Andrew. Sorry.
How are you, Andrew?
had a few areas for kids, like the Lego section was set up well for kids, obviously. So there was a lot of blocks and stuff that they could build different Star Wars, vehicles and stuff with. So that was good.
We got Jewel Who.
Hey, Joel.
Hey, Joel.
Always in the house. And Venture's great character. I actually love the artwork, and I love the Japanese representation that they put into all the promotion. That was the promotion you were saying before, like in Japan. Was it everywhere? Was it on billboards and things like that? Was it on TV? Like, did they really market it hard there, or?
It was definitely. I live a little bit outside of Tokyo, but I do go into Tokyo quite regularly. And when you go into Tokyo, they definitely had the posters up in the stations and occasionally on billboards and stuff like that. So it was fairly well pushed, I think. Yeah. Didn't see any ads for it on TV, but in the lead up, they started showing the original trilogy on TV. The 3 weeks leading up to Celebration, they showed the original trilogy, which was cool. So yeah, that helped get everyone sort of fired up for it. But honestly, I think the number of looking at the people at Celebration, I reckon it was a 50-50 split in terms of the Japanese and people from outside of Japan, or if not more from outside of Japan were actually probably there. From what I saw on the Sunday anyway. I'm not sure about the other 2 days, but it was definitely had an international feel to it, that's for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. We'll just say
and there were,
hi to Ollie.
Ollie.
He loves his Star Trek. So.
There was plenty of advertising and stuff around the the train stations and stuff like that on the way in. So
yeah,
very easy to get to.
So we might jump into some. You were talking about cosplay and things like that, but we just got a couple of questions like here and there that we're just going to chuck out as a group. So I think Skree, if you want to ask the boys a question, or get those Star Wars juices flowing.
Right. Okay. So Dean put the hard one on me. He said, ask the Star Wars question. I'm like, I thought he had questions for me to ask. I was like, don't give me any questions with hard words to say that I'm going to bugger up. So he just goes, just a simple question, what it is. So I've got a question for both of you, right? So this, I don't know if it goes against any Star Wars law or whatever. So I'm just going to ask it anyway. If you could pick a colored lightsaber, which color would it be? And it doesn't have to be it could be any color.
I didn't give you that question.
No, that's what I said, because I said it was an easy question.
Yeah. Well, you want to go first? You got one.
No,
well,
you go first.
I had to think about this a lot because my favorite character is Darth Vader. But I'm going to go with Andrew here. I'd actually go with green. I think that that classic when Luke builds his own lightsaber for Return of the Jedi, and that Sarlacc pit scene, and he catches it. R2 shoots it over, and he catches it, and lights it up. From then on, it's like, oh yeah, the green just stands out. Looks amazing to me.
I'm going to go yellow purely because I've just picked this up, so I'm pretty happy with that. But oddly enough, the lightsaber he has inside is a blue one, so
yeah, it was just packaging yellow.
Just the packaging, right?
That's the original image they used on the Kenner Obi-Wan Kenobi. And they've just announced the vintage collection one, brand new figure, and it's got the same image with the yellow damn lightsaber.
Yeah.
Just hi to my brother, and he's gone black.
Black.
Would that work?
Dark saber. Love it.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
All right.
He wants to rule Mandalore.
He does. All right, so I'm going to share some of your photos. I think these are all yours, Phil, that you've sent over. And
definitely took a few pics, that's for sure.
Not in any particular order, but a lot of cool cosplay ones. So tell me when you see that. That's all good. Yep.
Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Japanese influence.
We bumped into this guy even before we got. This was just coming out of the station, I think. So we didn't even have our passes in hand yet, and so it was kind of weird. You saw all these guys dressed up on the trains and walking out of the stations and stuff. So, Yeah, I thought this guy particularly caught my eye because I'm a big fan of the Emperor's Royal Guard and seeing the red and stuff, and then with the sort of the Japanese influence there, that blew me away right from the beginning, and I knew that it was going to be a good day after seeing that guy initially. So that was a good start to the day.
Yeah, I loved all that Japanese influence. It just sort of lifted all the cosplays up just to an extra level. So
yeah, it just made it different. Made it a bit more unique.
I'll come back to that one.
Yeah, this was cool. This was obviously in the Lego part, but they had interviews with some of the designers of the new sets that they've brought out. And they had obviously all the translators there too. So the questions were being asked in Japanese and then translated into English, and then the answers were given in English and then translated into Japanese. So it was all happening in the Lego booth. But that was a cool place to be, and that was very accessible. You could get quite close to the stage. I don't know, to be honest, who exactly those guys are, but they are obviously in the Lego team.
Do you guys have Star Wars Lego in your collections at all? Is it something you dabbled in and then stopped, or maybe still do?
I've got a couple of the smaller baggies that I picked up last year, so not great amounts, but a few small bits and pieces.
No life-size K2SOs or anything?
No, not yet. Maybe this year from Santa, maybe.
I dabbled in it a little bit, and so I've got like an AT-AT and a bit of a Hoth scene and Imperial Shuttle and bits and pieces. But my son grew up with loads of it, so there's plenty of Star Wars Lego around the house.
Oh, very nice. That's good memories, man.
Yeah, I think I've got like a Mandalorian helmet somewhere that I built.
Oh, cool.
This one was just, I saw this one in the background walking around while watching live.
Yeah, this was great. This was another one that we saw as soon as we kind of walked in. It was one of the first guys that we saw. And Leona got a picture with the Stormtrooper as well. And just such a cool idea being cosplayed with the card back on as well.
That is pretty cool.
I feel like he doesn't need to carry around an actual TVC figure to represent what he is.
That is very creative.
All right, some of the artwork. So this is from the Lego by the looks of it.
Yeah, they had a bunch of these in different scenes. Yeah,
that's really cool. That one.
You could purchase all that, or is this all just display for the?
Yeah, I think so. But again, for me, because I went there on the Sunday. By the Sunday, a lot of the stuff had actually already sold out. So I did hear actually, looking at like the Facebook pages and stuff, there was a few people complaining about how disorganized some of the sales had been and how they hadn't evenly distributed the sales over the 3 days. And there were a few people sort of up in arms that, people that were going on the Sunday were kind of missing out. But
yeah, I did hear a lot of things sold out on that first day, a lot of hot toys and things like that. Like people they planned, they knew what they were going for.
Yeah. Well, you reckon there were quite a few scalper there, Jason, picking up some of the hot toys?
Yeah, because I got the interview with Hasbro through a friend of mine, Victoria, from Victoria's Cantina. So go check out her YouTube channel. It's amazing. But she messaged me and said, "Oh, look, I know it's a big ask, but if you get a chance, I'm really after the exclusive Anakin hot toys." And so they had an Anakin Skywalker, a Stormtrooper with sort of like a blossom kind of motif on it, which was really cool. And then something else, I think it was another Darth Vader. And it was exclusive to the convention. But apparently it sold out in the first 2 hours of the first morning.
Wow.
They had no limits on it. So we saw people walking around with massive bags of hot toys. And, those things go for they're like $500 or $600 New Zealand dollars. And so I messaged her back and I said, "Look, I'm really sorry. I didn't have a chance to line up on the first day. I heard they sold out." She said, no, that's all good. So just out of curiosity, we went to look on eBay to see how much they were going for. $3,500 the next day.
Yeah.
And it's like,
criminal.
Come on, guys. Yeah.
That's such a bummer not having a limit to it. Like, And they're huge too. Like they're big things to carry around all day with you.
Yeah. Honestly, people had bags and bags of that stuff. It was like, yeah. But yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm not getting to the comments right now. I'm just we'll just flick through these and then we'll go back and have a little bit of a chat. But
That's cool.
Hasbro, we'll definitely talk about Hasbro because I'm a big fan of that as well. What are these guys doing? Just a bit of
Yes, a few lessons for that. No, you could line up and then the chuck a lightsaber in your hand. You could get lessons on how to use it properly, and yeah, that was really cool. Because again, like I guess a lot of the Hasbro stuff were for adult toy collectors. So to keep the kids happy, they had things like this set up. So yeah, that was really cool.
So from the live stream that they did, because they like Star Wars YouTube streamed all 3 days for like 8-9 hours. Everyone at the live stage had lightsabers. Were they just giving them out? Were they freebies that they had? Or did everyone just bring their own lightsaber?
I think that's a BYO lightsaber. I'm pretty sure.
Wow, I was impressed.
Yeah, I didn't see any being given out. That's for sure. But there were a ton of them. You're right, though. In front of the stage, they're all waving them around like nightsticks.
I thought they gave them out just to sort of get that atmosphere on the live stream. But yeah, now that's cool to know. And there's Phil wearing a great hat.
Yeah. So luckily, I actually met up with Jason the night before we went. So Jason went on the Friday and Saturday, and we went on the Sunday. So I was able to represent my man Jace with his cap there. I look pretty bloody good, if I do say so myself.
You look fantastic, and I love the T-shirt as well. So you're repping both channels in one outfit. It's outstanding.
Yeah. I was fending off my fans left, right, and centre. I couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, this is something I wanted to talk about. I did see. Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, so they obviously, if you've ever been to Japan, you know that there are vending machines every 10 meters, literally, like they're just everywhere. So to match that, they had these vending machines, and I think they were probably about $15 a can, but they had obviously the designs on them. I think inside the cans it wasn't Coke, it was tea. So you could get a can of cold tea in a Star Wars can for about I don't know, $10 to $15. But again, the queues for those were massive too. Like a lot of the cans had sold out, and there are only various designs left. So,
but it was 8 cans per movie, wasn't it?
Could have been. There are a lot of machines, and each machine tend to have. There are heaps of different designs actually. But I saw people ripping them open and drinking them as they're walking. I would have kept mine like sealed, man. If I paid that much, I would have never opened it. But
I never spotted those. It's another thing that you saw that I missed.
Yeah.
These are the squadrons.
Yes, yeah. They were fantastic. They were really well set up, and they had them set up in the different scenes of the movie, and the dioramas were absolutely outstanding. That was fairly close to the Hasbro booth as well.
So these are miniatures. They're part of the new line, the squadrons.
Yeah.
Diecast on them?
Jazzwares?
Yeah.
Is it the Jazzwares booth? Oh, yeah.
Maybe, yes.
Ooh, that's cool.
That was nice.
That was back at the Hasbro booth, I think. But, you know, Jason sort of mentioned as well, there was just so much to see and to take in. And I've watched I did a fairly comprehensive video, of my day out there, but I've watched other people's videos, and there's a whole lot of things that I was like, I cannot believe I missed that. Like some big displays kind of in the middle of the convention hall and stuff, that obviously there were just so many people walking around that it was just impossible to catch everything.
That happens with any video, like any toy video that I make. when I rewatch
Yeah,
it. I'm
yeah.
like, oh my god, I put my hand right next to something I've been looking for.
Yeah. And then as you're saying, like the sort of the Japanese twist on the day with some of these designs and setups was just fantastic.
Very cool. Oh, did I skip one? No, sorry. More of the artwork. So that was their sort of their major logo piece that they sort of did. Because that was on
with his pink lightsaber.
Yeah.
Sakura dust. Yeah. No, that was a very cool piece as well.
Were they all in bloom?
Did you see Cherry Blossom, Jace? I think they came a little bit early this year. I think they were just towards the end of the season by the time Star Wars started.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, we were right at the tail end. I think. Yeah.
Tell me you went and did that.
I wish I had. Again, the lines are just ridiculous, man. Like, that would have been cool to jump on.
So what are you talking when you talk lines? Because I know obviously autograph lines, they're probably going to be your worst. Your photo lines will be a little bit faster. But a line for this and a line for the soda machine.
This was looking like at least a 30 to 40 minute wait. And I guess if I'd been by myself, perhaps, but with the little one with me, it was like there was just too much to see and do to I guess for me to waste time in line, and I was happy enough to take photos. The thing with the Japanese though, they're very patient, so they will line up honestly all day for everything. So the lines were massive for most things.
I wonder if they had that out. Sorry, Jason, you go.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, if they had the dewback out the front, that was the first thing you saw. Would you be straight away thinking we're getting a dewback in TVC? Like, look at this thing.
But they had a life-size bantha. And
Yeah,
I was talking to the designer, the Hasbro designer of the bantha, Emily, and I said, I've just been over to see the life-size bantha, and your one's way better, and she quite liked that. But yeah, the queues, so I only really had a couple of big queues. One was for my photo that was over an hour and a half, but some people waited longer than me. And then the other big one on the first day after the family had gone home is I queued up for the Hasbro merch, and that was well over an hour. And yeah, when you talk about the queuing of the Japanese, Phil, and the Hasbro line, so they sort of they really well organized the line. So it's when you go on a ride at Disneyland or whatever. But then they left space for people to get through. And I just joined what I thought was the back of the line. And the guy just kind of looked at me, but he didn't say anything. And then he was very polite. And then I looked around and I was like, oh crap, I've not actually joined the back of the line. So I went to the back of the line, but he just didn't want to say anything. He was like, yeah.
Oh, that'd definitely be different here.
You occasionally get a death stare, but they generally won't tell you to shove off or move on.
And last one,
Frito, my buddy, yeah.
So you knew
that was so cool. It was just so great because it was a sort of the first for me going to something like this. Just everyone was just so obviously that they wanted to show off their cosplay, so everyone was just so happy to get photos taken with them. And you go to other things and people don't want their photos taken, but everyone was just up for it, so it was fantastic.
Who shot first in that photo, Phil?
The owner with the camera.
Say hi to Sci-Fi. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Sci-Fi.
Simon.
Good to see you, mate.
Mick Gray is here. Hello,
Hey, Mick.
mate. Sorry,
Hey,
I'm
Mick.
working on a little Star Wars vintage at the moment. New on cards.
Nice.
And people saying hi. Who in their right mind would buy a hot toy for $3,000? Wow,
That's insane.
that's what happens, man. It's sad. It is definitely sad. So, What do you think was like the most dressed up cosplay that you saw? Like, was it Darth Vader's or just like weird and wonderful? Like I saw a droidicar, a guy dressed as a droidicar that rolled around. I thought he was
Oh,
really
that was cool.
There was a stormtrooper that was a Woody and Jesse from Toy Story. I thought that was
Yeah.
a very unique thought. But what do you think you saw the most of going around?
The most of
Or a
definitely various versions of the troopers. So yeah, I don't know the different names and the versions of them, but there were a lot of troopers walking around, and got me thinking like how these guys pack their bags from America and put all this stuff in. Like some of that stuff looks like it weighs a bloody ton, you know, and
Yeah, wow.
that's dedication, man, bringing that stuff from the other side of the world.
Yeah, and also I'd read beforehand that it's sort of not the dumb thing to ride the train in your cosplay, so they had a whole bunch of cosplay changing areas. Whereas
That's right.
I've been to work many times on Star Wars Day dressed as a Jedi or Kylo Ren, and I just jump on the train like an idiot. But I think like it was there was so much to see and so much amazing effort going into those cosplays, but it's the twists that really stand out. Like there was a bright pink Chewbacca, like that was pretty cool. The droidica that you mentioned, Dean, that was so cool. And another one that got a lot of attention is there was a little kid dressed as Princess Leia being towed around in a like a cart, and the cart was done up like the Star Speeder from Star Tours. So, just the little, just the clever things, and the one that Phil showed with the guy in the full, Kenner blister package.
Yeah.
One of the ones that made me laugh so much, and he got lots and lots of photos, was just a dude there in normal clothes, but he had a sign that said "Star Trek is better," and he was doing. Like at Star Wars Celebration, I thought the kahunas to do that, but like people loved him. Like people were getting their photo taken with him. It was cool.
But that's it. Once you get into that convention space, everyone's just fantastic. Like everyone loves the same thing. They're all there having such an amazing time. But Zazel, how are you, buddy?
Hello.
Takes one to know one, buddy. Hey, Zazel.
Yeah, Mick was saying that he loves seeing cosplays on the train on the way to the con. So yeah, that would have been awesome. We see them here when we have our conventions. You just see them everywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you see like 6 guys dressed in SWAT army gear, you're like, wait,
there's a con somewhere.
That's real or not?
But Star Wars fans must be the kings of cosplay, right? Like compared to the other franchises, I'm sure Star Wars.
Well, Star Trek's just a T-shirt.
Out there.
Off you go.
I can't imagine people at Joe Fest all dressing up as their favorite G.I. Joe character or whatever.
And I will say I love Star Trek, but you don't put a red shirt on and go to a con.
Not a cosplayer story, but just in terms of like the journey. So right at the start of our journey, we flew from Wellington to Auckland, and then we were waiting for our flight from Auckland to Japan. And I was lucky enough to have passes for the lounge because I'd been on a work trip earlier in the year, and I got enough status points, whatever. And I was at the buffet getting some food with my son, and I went, "Dude, that's Temuera Morrison."
Oh.
And so, like, this is before we even left, and so I said, being a Kiwi, "Kia ora, Tim." "Oh, kia ora." He says, and I says, and so I said, "I'm looking forward to seeing you at Star Wars Celebration." He goes, "That's where I'm going."
Oh.
And then he goes, "Are you going too?" And I said, "Yeah, we're going to Star Wars Celebration." He goes, "I'm looking forward to the blossoms." And I thought, oh man, I'd love to get a photo with him, but I know that he's going over there to earn his crust getting photos with nerds like me. So I didn't push it, and I just have a good trip. So, but it was funny. It's like, the guys from America already think that everybody knows everyone in New Zealand. Then you go, "Oh yeah," and Tim was on the same flight as me to Japan.
Oh, was it? I'll put this one up for me then.
Oh, there you go.
Ah, love it.
One.
That's my dad with me, and there he is. So yeah, that was in
Nice.
Sydney in 23. Yeah, lovely guy. I'm so proud. I was saying to my wife, like the people that would have been coming across the world to meet, like Boba Fett, the guy who plays all the clones, the voice and all that. I go, and we get him like at every con Melly because he's so close to us. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really appreciate that. But yeah, super nice guy. I actually met him years ago, like back when he'd only done episode 2, for an autograph. So I thought, I have to get him now. Too
Yeah,
good.
he's the one guy that I really wanted to see. Like I said to Leon, if we see him at the celebration, I'll be a happy man. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, didn't meet him.
No.
Great
But you
shot.
didn't. Come on. Do we want to move into
Next
that?
time you're back in New Zealand, Phil, we'll hook you up.
I just go and knock on his door. Yeah, here you go. And
Yeah. Well, this is another kind of related story. So when we were still in Japan and we'd gone on a bit of travel to Kyoto, and we came back to Tokyo and we went to Shibuya Crossing to go and see that. And we were coming back on the subway, and I said to my wife, "It's Willie Jackson. He's a New Zealand politician." She goes, "No, it's not." And I go, "Yeah, no, pretty sure it is." And when you're a Kiwi in another country, and I'm sure it's the same for you Aussies, so I just rocked up to him and I said, "Kia ora, Willie," and he starts talking to me, and then he starts so we're having this chat, and then he sees the kids. He goes, "Oh, you kids joined Japan?" And they go, Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I've got a week off, and I just came over here. What are you guys doing?" And I said, "Oh, we came to Star Wars Celebration to see Uncle Tim." And he goes, "Oh, Uncle Tim. He used to live doors down the road from me." Like, I'm not kidding you. That's exactly what he said. And he goes, "Is he here?" And I said, "Well, the convention's finished, so I guess he's gone back home." And he goes, "Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to get in contact with him." Like, that's the... So we can hook you up, Phil.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
He's come a long way since his Shortland Street days, that's for sure.
Just say hi to Gen X kid. How are you, buddy?
Hey,
He's
G'day.
those riot cops I was talking about. He's saying they were just waiting for the first annual Police Academy celebration. And Cypher says, "Don't know if I would like to see 6 SWAT guys on public transport these days." No. Might be a bit crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Want to ask another question, Skree?
Yeah, I got one for Jason. So you say you traveled to Japan to see this celebration. Is that a thing that, because you said it's like a few years apart for each celebration, correct? So will you travel to the next one, or is it something that you do all the time, or?
So that was great question. That was my first one. Like it was something that, I've got a bit of, obviously I'm a massive Star Wars nerd, and it was something on my bucket list, if you like, and it just popped up that it was in Japan, and that was something I'm keen on. LA for us is same distance as Japan, but there's a lot going over there in America at the moment, so don't know about that. But yeah, first celebration, but we were lucky enough before COVID to go Disneyland in Anaheim when the Galaxy's Edge opened. So yeah, it's a bit of a theme. Like we go somewhere, and there's always Star Wars as a part of it.
Yeah, I'm a bit different myself. I'm more of a I guess a casual Star Wars. Like I collect a lot of different toy lines, but actually after going to Celebration, I've just suddenly become just obsessed with the franchise now. Like in the weekend, I watched the May the 4th Hasbro live stream. I was really hooked and wanted to see what all the new releases and stuff were going to be. So it really grabs you away, and it really kind of converts you and makes you even more love the franchise after going to something like that. So I'd say even for people who aren't hardcore Star Wars fans, it's definitely a cool thing to go and check out.
Do you guys think there'll ever be a Star Wars celebration here, or is it a big enough capacity of fans here to hold one in Australia?
Australia, maybe. New Zealand, definitely not. Yeah. Yes, I think... Did you say it was the first in Japan? I feel like they've had one ages ago in Japan, maybe. I could be wrong.
Really?
They've had a couple... they've had a couple in London,
Okay.
and then
Mhm.
it moves around the states a bit. But yeah, Aussie's probably big enough.
Hmm.
It's just probably a bit further for that American market, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, Aussie can host Olympics. Surely they can host a Star Wars celebration. I'm sure you guys have got big enough, expo
Yeah,
centre to
I
host
think
it. I
I think
heard
we-
actually, I heard a couple of people again complaining. People love to complain, but there were a couple of people complaining that the Japanese hall wasn't big enough either compared to ones that they'd been to in the past. So God knows what the other celebrations have been like, because the place that they had in Japan was a huge area, like with so many different stages. It seemed like it was. I mean, it was packed. Like people were pretty packed in, but I couldn't imagine a bigger place than where they hosted it. So, but yeah, I'm sure Australia has plenty of, especially Sydney must have.
Yeah, I
plenty
think Sydney or Melbourne, definitely.
Yeah.
Possibly even Brisbane, but I think it would go to those two first. Mick saying
Yeah.
there were 501st everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So so with that, and we'll move to like some guests that we've met in the Star Wars universe, and I'm going to start off with myself actually. So I'll just add a couple little ones, sort of build up.
Can we do like names and the characters and the movies they were in, so I can relate as well?
We're going to let you name them.
Fill in the gaps.
Yeah, fill in the gaps.
So this was one that I actually flew over to Adelaide for
Oh,
at the end of
nice.
last year. So I did say to my wife when they announced Japan, I said, I want to go to Japan for Star Wars Celebration. She said, do it. And I said, yeah, but then I started working out dollars, and I'm like, I can't do that. Literally just had what he would have been probably a year and a half little boy. So I was like, no. But then I thought, you know what? They're going to come here. Hopefully they're going to come here when conventions are on. And boom, I think we got one or two. So Anthony Daniels, C-3PO Skree, the only C-3PO. So Anthony Daniels has played all incarnations of C-3PO.
Yeah, wow.
Was he at the Japan celebration as well, Chase?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm sure I saw his picture in the promo material. Yeah.
There was a video I saw of him. He queued up for his own autographs, like he got into the queue.
Yeah, he did that in Adelaide as well. He came walking down, and like Adelaide didn't have as many people at Star Wars celebrations, and we had bought the first sort of round of autographs. So I was only probably 10 in line, and this person's going,
Wow.
excuse me. And we're like, I actually told him you have to go back to the back of the line. No, there's no cuts. I had to say something to him, so it was good. But I got a good amount of time talking to him, which was really nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing about we don't get those big stars in the New Zealand ones.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have Armageddon. That's one that's hosted in various cities, and there's normally not a lot that comes to where I am. I mean, yeah, obviously Timware and Morrison could be a shot at the Kiwi ones, but we wouldn't get anyone like Anthony Daniels. So
definitely. But for me, that was what 2-hour flight. So what are you looking to Sydney? If you came there, you could do a quick hop across.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
actually, Ollie's saying that maybe Japan did host. Maybe you're right, Jace. Did host in 2008 as well.
2008 was Japan as well, I think. Maybe it just wasn't as big. And Sci-Fi's saying, yeah, he's with Skree. He'd love that. And that the Olympics, yeah, I think you said that, Phil, didn't you?
Yeah,
So,
I'm
saying
sure Oz would do a good job.
He lives out in the country.
He's got enough space in his backyard, I think, mate, to definitely host an outdoor celebration under the stars.
It'd be a Star Wars hootenanny, wouldn't
it? How are you, Shane?
Hey, Shane.
Ollie's asking, on a level of 1 to town, how sassy was Daniel? I'd say he was about a 9. Yeah, he was pretty sassy. I remember when I was doing my autograph, they started doing announcements for the opening of the convention. Welcome, everyone, come in. And he's like, oh, you shut up. I'm trying to write. So he actually just stopped and he was like, we'll just wait, because we couldn't talk. It was that loud. So he's like, okay, ready. And they started talking. He's like, oh, bloody hell. And he just kept going. So, but we lined up for his panel too. So we enjoyed that. And he started that panel by introducing himself behind the scenes. And the guy who was supposed to do the lighting and the video on the screen kept screwing it up. I don't know if it was planned or not, but he came out and he's like, who's doing this? Turn the lights on. So yeah, he was very sassy. But I'll jump over to yours now, Jason. You met this good-looking fella.
I don't know who's better looking though, to be honest.
Well, I didn't want to say that.
I got my advertising on there as well.
Yeah, love it.
Nice.
Good work, good work.
Yeah, that was cool. That was definitely worth waiting in line for, and that was the only thing I booked ahead of coming over, apart from the tickets and everything else. Was I was like, when I heard he was coming, I was like, okay, that's the one I want to do.
Nice.
Yeah, and pretty lucky. It's like, as you probably know, you get one shot. And I came out afterwards and I showed my wife the picture. She's like, you're so lucky. Like, I would have had my eyes closed or be pulling a face or something like that. She was almost like disgusted that I got almost the perfect shot. So yeah, I was pretty happy. And he was really lovely as well. Like, I was just expecting to be shuffled in, photo boom, and then out again. But, shook my hand and I said, wow, it's awesome to meet you, Hayden. He said, it's nice to meet you too. Like, just a really
great.
lovely man.
Because you were talking about the lines being insane. I was curious if you got any interaction in time with him. So that's nice that you did.
Well, we were told that we wouldn't be getting any interaction, but he's just a top bloke, and yeah, it's so cool to see him back in the Star Wars universe and show up in Ahsoka and stuff like that. I think everyone was just mad excited to see him back.
He's doing quite well in that. He's sort of become the face of Star Wars after the prequels and a bit of not love, I guess you could say, that he was getting for so many years. They really, really love him now. So I always loved him. He was always cool.
I can't believe it's like 20 years since the movie, right?
Yeah.
He's
He
still
didn't
looking
ask
pretty.
about my shirt, Simon. I could have given him a hat maybe, but I reserved it for VIPs like Phil.
That's it. So what were there others?
You know who's important, mate.
Were there others you
didn't have any business? You didn't have any business cards, Jason, or?
You know what? When I got those business cards made, and then when I met up with Lambs one time at a thing, and we met for the first time, he was wearing his YouTube channel T-shirt, and we kind of exchanged business cards, and I'm like, "Oh, bro, you've got like a QR code," and he goes, "Yeah, bro, it's easy to do." Like, and he told me how to do it, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to get them reprinted now." I didn't know you could just make a QR code.
So were there any other celebrities that you wanted to meet, but you were just like, I just can't spend all my time standing in lines?
But basically, that's what happened for me. So I booked the Hayden one before I went, and I'm glad I did because that sold out really quickly. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, yeah, I'd love to do, Temuera Morrison and maybe some others. But after waiting so long, I was kind of like, I thought maybe it would just be a bit of a waste of time. But a friend of mine, another guy called Phil, I know a lot of Phils, who was there. He, fantastic name. On the Saturday, he went quite early and he went and got Ashley Eckstein's autograph. And he said, he didn't have to wait too long. And she was really nice and signed one of his figures. And so I think I think the lines were just, I think, Hayden was probably one of the most popular, so that's probably why there was a
100%. Because he was the last that they announced, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So it was like, go, go, go. I'll just show 2 more that I've had. If this one wants to open.
I was just going to say I didn't look into it at all. The autograph thing. I'm assuming you had to pay a little bit extra to get those, right? Yeah,
A little bit.
a little bit. Okay.
I was like I was weighing up whether to get a figure signed or a photo, and I thought the photo would actually be a bit more longer lasting, and it turned out well with the t-shirt. Oh, there we go.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
It's the dude from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, which most people say. So Giancarlo Espinosa, is it? I think I said that right. But yeah, so from the Star Wars world, Skree, the Mandalorian, and
Mandalorian. I know that one. Mandalorian.
plays Moff Gideon. So that was another fun one that came to Sydney. So yeah, jumped in there. You'll notice I do a lot of these cons with my dad. It's something like sort of traditional to us that we've been doing. So yeah, but I have one.
You're also well branded there, Dino.
Yeah,
That's your mutagents. Nice.
Oh, we all. In my hat.
You got away.
we all do it. We all do it.
Actually,
right,
the other one, sorry, Dean, the other one that was at Star Wars Celebration that all of a sudden my son got excited for was Mads Mikkelsen was there, and I'm like, oh, cool, Galen Erso, and he goes, no, he's Hannibal, Dad. And I'm like, what? I haven't. He watches all this horror stuff that I'm not into, but he actually got excited. It was like, could we get a photo with Hannibal? But we didn't actually end up.
All feels flocked to pair. So my last one I'm going to show is someone that I got to be part of, like a VIP section, and they walked around and I got to get a quick autograph on my VIP little card. So this is a photo I took of this man. Yeah.
Nice.
So that was like a VIP thing that I'd won. I had no idea what I was getting into, but it was to go to the IMAX in the city and watch a trailer for the Force Awakens that wasn't going to be played everywhere else. And we watched the trailer, and the trailer finished. A spotlight came on, and bloody Harrison Ford standing there, thanking you all for your support and enjoying it. And then we knew that we had to go over to the Opera House in Sydney. We didn't know we were going to be in this line, so you can see I'm pretty much standing on the barricade. He pulls up and he walks around the whole thing signing, and I'm like, I didn't know he was signing, and I'm like, all I had was a lanyard, and I was like, someone give me a pen. So yeah, I did tap him on the shoulder, and he did give me a bit of a look. He looked like, ooh, and I was like, lovely to see you, and he was like, he just turned towards, and I was like, oops, shouldn't have done that. But yeah,
you got the sign.
Yeah, so I just
that's cool.
That was something really good. I know my dad would be watching, so he'd get annoyed if I didn't tell the story of a gentleman after we left the IMAX. My dad dropped his lanyard, so he dropped his VIP pass. He didn't realize. This guy picked it up and chased after him for a few meters, and he was like, "Hey, you dropped your pass." Dad turns around and goes, "Oh, okay, thank you." It was Russell Crowe. It was Russell Crowe.
Hey, wow.
So my dad always tells a story that he doesn't have to go chasing celebrities; they chase him. You know?
Nice,
wow,
a nice one.
So, yeah.
Russell's not a bad guy then.
No, he's a lovely guy.
Well, his cousin was one of the greatest batsmen of all time for New Zealand.
Oh, was he? There you go.
Yeah, Martin Crowe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
299 top score.
That goes straight over my head. So
it's gone way over mine too. I'm like, sports. What?
I want to talk some toys and some pickups, but just another fun question. If you got to ride one creature or drive one vehicle in the Star Wars universe, what would they be? You can answer that too, Skree.
I said a Wookiee.
A Wookiee. You want to ride a Wookiee?
I ride a Wookiee.
Ride a Wookiee.
It's the first creature I could think of.
You won't get cold at night.
There you go. You keep you warm.
I'll go the land speeder.
Okay.
Nice.
Because my older brother, I've got a couple of older brothers who are slightly older than me, so they were more the Star Wars, I guess, generation growing up, and they had a bunch of Star Wars, and I vividly remember them playing with that. So yeah, I've got a lot of nostalgia with that one.
That's awesome.
Nice.
What do you got, Skree? You said you're Wookiee. What about you, Jace?
I'm going to go from extremely recent media. I'm going to go the TIE Avenger that Cassian Andor steals in that first episode. Holy moly, I want one of those.
Oh,
That would be super cool.
that'll be on everyone's TBC wish list, definitely. I'm going to go with an AT-AT because I just want to feel what that feels like, just to stomp around and shoot those giant cannons. So that's mine. But guys, do we want to get into a few items that we've picked up? And I guess they can be from the con, or they can be from Star Wars Celebration. They can be something you just picked up recently. We'll say hi to Scotty Ways here.
Hey, Scott.
G'day, Scotty.
Buddy.
Hey, mate.
TIE Interceptor for Mick.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, mate. Which is one of my favorite. I actually really like the TIE Fighter from the Force Awakens, the black with the red paint on it. I just thought that color was really, really cool. But
Everyone's just being polite and not a weirdo and saying a creature. That's what it is right now. Everyone's like, oh, I don't want to say a creature. I'll just say a vehicle.
Like a panther.
Yes. I just want you to. You need to do an episode, Jason, in Tamara Morrison's voice. I need you to dress up. You've done Wuha. You've done Thrawn. We need a Bob or a clan or something because you nailed that before. That was cool.
Okay. Got the lowest budget costume department on all of YouTube.
Love it.
So we'll stay with you, Jason. What's some cool items that you might have picked up lately, or Star Wars Celebration?
Yeah. I picked up quite a bit. My good buddy Phil here gave me this awesome Kylo Ren figure, which I haven't opened yet, but I am a big Kylo Ren fan, so this looks like a Japanese kind of exclusive one. I picked up a few.
Like any good Star Wars character, he's not really dead.
Yeah. Picked up this battle droid set and got a review of that up pretty quickly. So that was from the Hasbro. I mean, honestly, it's been a bit insane. And picked up the Howler set at Celebration as well.
I'm gonna do that to you. Sorry.
That one haven't had a chance to even open that yet.
Yeah, I'm curious on that one.
Yeah, and I picked up that new. It's the Journey of Anakin Skywalker set, and they got this new Anakin from Revenge of the Sith, which is going to be outstanding. And then apart from that, probably too much to show, to be honest. But I'll show you these cards I got from the Hasbro booth. So this was just after we interviewed them. So it's an awesome Japanese themed artwork for Star Wars. So really stoked.
Must have been a really cool experience. I know you said your friend got you the chance to interview Hasbro and like put them on the spot a little bit and try to get some answers for the community, but they're quite good at it, I have to admit. But you did very well. I thought it was quite a good interview.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. And a couple of years ago, so one of the Star Wars sites I hang out at quite a bit is bantherskull.com.
Yep.
And it's a fantastic site. And a couple of years ago, they were doing the online Q&As, and the guys that run Banther Skull were like, there's a Q&A, but we can't run it. And I messaged Chris, the owner, and we're good mates. And I just said, hey, man, if you want your... Well, actually, no, what I did was in the comments, I said something like, if you want your Kiwi correspondent to do it, just let me know. And he actually messaged me, and he said, were you serious about doing the Q&A? And I said, yeah, if you trust me to do it. And he said, yeah, 100%. So I ended up doing it, and it was some silly time. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning New Zealand time. So before work, so I set the alarm, got up early, and asked his questions. And man, it was such an awesome experience to have. So when I met them in person, I said, "Oh, I actually, talked to you online," and Jing was like, "Yeah, I remember you." So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, you did well. Like, I think I'd feel a little nervous, like, especially because you're going to put that interview out, and just the questions that were asked. But no, you did very well. I was going to go back. My brother's saying that the creature he'd write would be a tauntaun. That'd be fun. Something they haven't brought back in anything. And somehow Kylo returned. Don't you love that line? Somehow Palpatine returned. Like, they didn't even bother explaining it. Just
somehow.
I'll chuck one of my recent things first before I jump over to you, Phil. But I don't know if have you done this one, Jason?
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I love that set. Yep.
Brand new. Somehow Australia is always close to last when it comes to TVC releases, but the streets of Mos Eisley. So we'll go lovely with the eventual Cantina when she arrives in August, hopefully. But that was a pickup that I've just recently got, which I can't wait. I haven't even opened it yet. So.
It's such a lovely set.
Have you got space for the Cantina, mate? Because looking at it firsthand, I was like, "Whoa, that takes up a bit of real estate."
Yeah, I wish I had a photo of it, but I don't. But it did look big from the pictures that they showed at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
I have sort of kept the space, so I don't think I'm going to get that downward whole view going on. It'll just be like a side sort of thing. But it's enough. It's enough for now. Same question to you, Jason, because you got it packed in there tight.
I have got it packed in there tight, but I've got plans for the display space this year. So I'm actually just sitting out in my garage. So I've got my plan is later on this year is basically take everything out, properly line the garage, and have some more consistent display cases. But I did come across a local place that does display cases, and they've got one for the Lego UCS Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
And I've done the measurements, and I'm like, that will be absolutely perfect for the Cantina, and then you'll be able to have, that same view that there was, Phil, at Celebration, where you can just see it from all angles. I think that would look superb. Bit of work to do before that.
Yeah, lovely. Sci-Fi is saying the Mos Eisley Street is great. Love having all the figures around it. And he's also saying, I've got a table for mine. I couldn't side view it at all. Yeah, I know. I guess when it comes, we'll see what we're dealing with. I know a lot of people that got the Ghost are really worried about size of things now. Because they're quite huge. Quite huge.
It was amazing how many people sold the Ghost once it arrived and they realized how big it was.
Yep. Then they weren't watching your channel, were you? You had the dimensions on your cardboard.
Cardboard Ghost. Exactly.
Should get that officially signed. Bill.
It's me.
Show us some cool stuff.
Okay. So actually I didn't go to Celebration actually expecting to buy anything because I'm more of a vintage kind of a collector. So I didn't realize that there would be booths with sellers selling, old school stuff basically. So I was pleasantly surprised that when we got there towards the back of the main exhibition hall, they had these booths with sort of more vintage stuff. So I guess my pickup of the day, not an action figure, but was this read along book and tape set, which I just, as soon as I saw it, I just got flooded with memories of listening to these tapes and reading the books as a kid. And the guy that was selling it was actually over from the UK, so he'd bought obviously a lot of stuff over. And I've never seen anything like this in Japan, so it was definitely like, if I don't buy it now, then I'll never get the chance to buy something. So I thought that was a cool pickup. All still in its original like plastic and stuff, and I just thought it's going to display nice. It's got with the peg hole there, it's just going to look nice hung up in the display room. So yeah, that was. I mean, I left we had almost exited, and I said to my little one, I was like, Leona, can you spare Daddy 20 more minutes? I have to make a U-turn and pick up something, because if I don't, I'm going to regret it for weeks probably. So she was good enough to let me go back and pick that up. So I was super stoked to get that.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, that was my main.
Really cool.
Just
yeah. Hey,
Dino.
How you going, buddy?
Hey, Dino.
Thanks for jumping on, buddy.
I picked up. Now this is going back. I think these were released in like 2004 or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is the trilogy collection. It's another Lando, I know. Lando's everywhere. But I thought, I just love the original card backs. And I picked up I've mentioned it in another video. I picked up a Boba Fett a few weeks back in a second-hand shop. So I just thought it would be a nice thing to go alongside it. And they had like so much power of the Force too stuff. It's just everywhere in Japan as well, and it's they're a dime a dozen. So I thought getting this was just something slightly different. And again, I just thought would display nicely in the collection room.
That's so cool.
So yeah, that was another good one.
When you spotted it, were you like, "Hello, what have we here?"
Yeah, exactly, mate. And so going away from collection, I was like, okay, I've got the Return of the Jedi card back. I've got the Empire Strikes Back. I've got to get a Star Wars one. So I think I got this about 3 or 4 days ago. So this is a Star Wars Celebration hangover purchase.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah,
it'll be good to compare that to the newly announced.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. Probably Jason knows more than I don't know how people view these figures or not. Like, I mean, this is going back 20 years now, so I'm sure they don't compare to what's been brought out now. But again, I'm not going to be taking them out off the card. It's just going to be displayed like that.
Yeah, the packaging's still beautiful, mate. It's lovely pieces.
Yeah, the packaging's what it's all about.
So Dino's encouraging you to open the cassette and have a nice listen. Just when we're saying how nice the packaging is.
Rip it open. I will say, and we kind of did touch on this before, it was nice to see some of the Japanese line toys as well. Like they had a lot of Bandai stuff. And this is something I bought quite a while back, but this is called the Meta Collection. And it's released by Takara Tomy. And so these are tinier. These are probably, I don't know, 2-inch or something. And obviously they're kind of, the metallic metal. But yeah, I don't know how easy these are to find outside of Japan or not. But
so it's just a solid.
Yeah, it's basically just solid metal.
No articulation at all.
Oh, cool.
It's got arms move.
Okay.
The head swivels around a bit. But yeah, just really tidy little figures. And so at the celebration, I saw that they've brought out a new wave of these figures as well. So yeah, it was cool to see, some of the as opposed to just Hasbro stuff, some of the other toy lines and stuff being on display as well.
We might have a look at some of them too moving forward.
Does Bandai do the figure art stuff, Phil? That's Bandai, is it?
The model kits?
There's model kits and sort of like, I think they're 6-inch figures, the SH figure arts. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Those
I
are
think that's
beautiful,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of that stuff was again on the Sunday. Yeah, they had signs up. A lot of the popular figures were already sold out. But again, I wasn't going. I actually came back with a big bag. I actually met a Chilean guy. I haven't mentioned it yet. I met a guy that follows my channel. Speaking of cosplay, he was dressed up as the Mercury Trooper.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah, on the Saturday apparently. So I wasn't there on the Saturday, but yeah, he's followed my channel for a little while because he's a Motu fan, and so he told me he's going to be in town. He's got a business card.
Yeah.
But he was such a top bloke, and he brought over from Chile a whole bag of loot for me as well, and he gave me a Masters of the Universe figure and some other merchandise from his channel and stuff. So yeah, I came away with a lot more than I was expecting to get. He makes badges as well, so he made this Mercury Trooper, especially for Star Wars Celebration, with Freddy in front of Mount Fuji there. So
That's
just
cool.
getting something like that kind of just made my day basically.
Super
and
creative.
it does sound cheesy, but going to things like this, it is honestly the people that you meet. Like that's the thing that has the lasting memory for me is meeting people like him, from another part of the world that otherwise I would have never met if it hadn't been for Star Wars Celebration being hosted in Japan. So that was great, and he came at just the right time because we'd been walking around all morning and we were getting dead tired already, and so he messaged me and we sort of met up sort of near the food hall area and just had a sit down for an hour and had a good catch up and exchanged things and had a good old chat. So yeah, his name was Jose, an absolute lovely guy, and he had such a wicked Freddie Mercury moustache as well as a carryover from the dress up. So no,
I thought we'd just go from there. We're talking toys. I thought we'd just look at some of the new May the 4th and releases from the TVC line. But I just, for people that weren't there, and I'm super proud of it, I just want to play that intro again.
Play it again.
yeah, do it.
Yeah. Just for people to enjoy. So we'll just cut the front bit out. So it's
What's wrong?
That's so
Very,
good.
very
Brilliant.
So good.
Brilliant.
just had to show that because that's just
Shout out to Ian Bucker who couldn't be with us.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm the only Jedi that died from getting stabbed by a lightsaber?
100%.
I learned that today for some reason. It came up in a conversation. I was like, It was funny you put it down
It's
there.
really, I like how Phil's a fearsome bounty hunter. I'm just a middle-aged dude. Love it.
You've probably been asked many times, so what happens when you stop becoming middle-aged? Do you just put that part of the name, or do you go like old age Kiwi man?
I'm very optimistic. I'm
Yes,
going to
man.
live to 180, so it should be going for. YouTube will be gone before I am.
All right. So last 15-20, we'll just have a quick chat about the what am I doing? About the TVC. So just a few of the images. What am I doing? Sharing screen. and this one. Yeah, you can see that. So just your thoughts. I know Skree, you don't collect them, and Phil, you're not everything. Star Wars, Jason, you'll probably be on all of these. But what do you think of this one, just from a quick standpoint? Cobb Vanth.
Pretty cool.
Jason.
I think this was kind of an obvious one. They released the version of Cobb Vanth with all the the Boba Fett armor previously, so I think it was expected. But if you're going to display the the kind of very Western standoff with our boy Cab Bane, you need this version. So I think pretty decent one. The likeness is good. The articulation's outstanding. Yeah, nice one.
The articulation. Like if you had these toys as kids, like one, they'd be broken a lot more because you'd just be trying to put them in such crazy poses. This one I was super happy for. We kind of knew, but really cool to have Moff Gideon in his armor. Another one for the what was the corridor scene?
Yeah.
There.
Season 3, the last couple episodes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he looks pretty cool. Like I've heard a few people complain that he doesn't come with a swappable head, so you can show your boy Giancarlo Esposito without his helmet on, but I'm not too worried. I wouldn't. It's the spare head that I'd have to put somewhere, right?
We have enough of that. This one I was pumped for. So I'd only just finished rewatching all the Bad Batch, so we knew the hype, years of wanting the Bad Batch and not getting, and just nothing. Like Hasbro just did it so quietly. But then to release one that like most people had on their March Madness list was, to me, like it brought life into knowing no one has to put them on March Madness next time. Like they're gonna bring them. We have faith.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. Yeah, it's another good one to have Crosshair finally and start to fill out that Bad Batch crew. But yeah, another outstanding looking figure.
Yeah. You watch Bad Batch, Phil?
No, I've not got around to watching it yet, must say.
That's one that I would recommend. Only 3 seasons. 3 seasons? Yeah. So, very good animation. Here's one that you two both saw live in person.
Yeah. Now this looks freaking awesome. I'd be in for this for sure. Even though I'm not a modern, because I collect so much, I'm pretty much limited myself to just collecting, the original vintage stuff. But this, definitely grabbed me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's super. It looks super. I heard. Did I hear that they kept sort of the elephant look underneath or something?
Yeah. So I had it before the interview. I had a chat with Emily, who's one of the designers, and I just started talking about it, and she just kept going and going about. So she was talking about they went to the Lucasfilm archives and they got swatches of the original fur, because in the movie itself, it was an elephant that they'd basically chucked a massive wig on and filmed a couple of scenes. So yeah, and Chris was talking about how they tried to preserve so there is essentially an elephant underneath that.
That's cool.
And I said to Emily, I was like, oh man, I really love the mouth. You've done a great job with the teeth. And she's like, ooh, that was a bit gross. But again, they based it off the Lucasfilm archives, so that that people complain about stuff, but when you talk to these people and how deeply passionate they are, and how the next level that they go to make sure it's as accurate as possible, I think we just got to kind of sit back and appreciate sometimes what they do.
Yeah, I'm definitely someone that appreciates what they do, because if they're not doing it, we're not getting anything. So, and they're doing it above and beyond, like you said, the detail and the love. Like they know what they're doing. They're putting the time and effort to try to do it. And yeah, they can't do everything, but this one's definitely going to be one that I'll purchase. Do you have the 90s Power of the Force Bantha in your collection?
I don't know. So that's something that was missing. So I was super excited when this one was announced. This one looks outstanding.
How much is this going to be going for? Do we know?
It's already on Amazon, I believe, for pre-sale.
Is it Amazon Australia or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure I saw it there already. So yeah, jump on. But I got the 90s Bantha when I was a kid, and it's something that it didn't get a great deal of play value because it didn't do anything in the movies. It just sort of waddled around. So it's great now as a display piece, and it will look great putting a Bantha. So I can have one with its mouth closed, one with its mouth open, and you can just put all your Tuskens and Jawas and everything just around it. So they've brought this creature to life now. You can do your Mandalorian scenes with it. So there's so much more than just a Bantha in the sand.
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, Book of Boba Fett.
I'd love to get one just as a reminder of Star Wars Celebration as well. Because they obviously had it on display there, and they also had the massive one that they did up that people could actually jump on and get photos with and stuff.
Yeah, that was a great announcement.
You're free now. Go and make some baby Banthas.
I love it. Maybe you could do that. Create a little Bantha thing that you sit on. Rocket Trooper was announced. Just an easy one for him to do, but still pretty cool.
Yeah, and that rocket launcher, for those of you, I hope this isn't a spoiler, those of you who watched the first episode of Andor Season 2, there's a range trooper.
I noticed that.
Yeah, with the same rocket launcher, so you'll be able to reuse it for that.
Gives you
so buy 10 of them.
Hopefully an inkling of a figure that's coming. But Phil, for yours, they just announced this
here
guy.
he is.
Yeah. So with his original yellow lightsaber that the card back had back then, it does come with his blue lightsaber in the physical pack. Do you think this is an easy one that they can just chuck a blue lightsaber on the card back and reissue?
Yes. So in the original Kenner line, so this was the one that came out in the first 12, this image, but they did have an alternate image, Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was a different shot from the movie, and he did have the blue lightsaber. So they did update it in the Kenner line. So I think, easy one for Hasbro to reissue at some point with the alternate card back.
You'll have to get that one, Phil, and then do a figure review.
Do a comparison.
Put on your middle-aged Kiwi hat. And off you go.
He doesn't want to open his other one, though. Keep it sealed.
I'll get copyright stricken if I do that. I'll think I'm Jason.
Yeah. You got the 3. So these were the figures that were announced on May the 4th. So Star Wars Day. We're now on Revenge of the 6th for our little special. But the 3-pack of the Imperial Troopers. So this was the Commando Stormtrooper, which was slightly different to the Imperial, to the normal Stormtrooper. Sandtrooper, I can't remember the difference between the Sandtrooper and I think the speeder bike guy was just rocket ankle, rocket hips.
New hips. So he's got the ball joint hips.
Yeah.
And a few people were a little bit upset because he doesn't have hinged wrists. He's got kind of like swivels at the glove kind of thing.
Making it difficult.
Yeah. They were a nice figure though.
Still a
really
nice
figure. And that snowtrooper, I got a few of those snowtroopers when I got back from Japan, and they are just amazing. Fantastic figure.
Still waiting on my pre-orders. There they are. They look good. Like, you give it to Hasbro. Like the figures that they're doing are looking amazing. And I know most of us are just putting them in our scenes and articulating them into poses from scenes. They're like, imagine if you're a kid and you're playing with all these. Like, just the craziness you could do.
That's a beautiful looking set, and for someone like me, all of my vintage stormtroopers are yellowed, and
Yeah,
they've seen better days. So for someone like me who probably should upgrade and modernize a bit, yeah, that's such a beautiful looking set.
Mm. And there's
And
one from each movie as well, which is nice. That's it.
So this one, probably, Jason, you could probably give better history on this set, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I guess the Kenner nostalgia for the Cantina Adventure set, the draw for the Kenner collectors here is the blue snaggletooth.
Yeah.
So the Greedo, the Ponda Baba, and the Hammerhead had all been released on single cards, but this was the only way you could get the blue snaggletooth, and it was a bit of a another one of those Kenner creations. So the character in the movie had a red suit. But Kenner kind of, I don't know, they were working off black and white photographs or something. And there's even a story about the belt buckle, and the designer put his own spin on the belt buckle, put his own logo on the belt buckle. So, yeah, so it's basically an easy, I guess, repaint of existing tooling for Hasbro. So, tickles the nostalgia buttons for a few people.
It does, but does it open up a whole new line now that people will be like, now I want all my vintage? And I know a stormtrooper's a stormtrooper. There's not that, but there's a lot of creatures in pretty cool paint jobs from the original Kenner line that they could do here. I think they could make a whole generation very, very happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like when I first saw it, I was like kind of like, it's not really for me, but I do get the appeal, and then that Hammerhead look with the the blue, which matches the original Kenner. That character turns up in the Bad Batch, and I think some of the other designs from the Kenner kind of colors have turned up in some of the newer media. So it's, if you want film accuracy, then
yep. But you've also got background characters for the Haslavers coming out. You also get that, and they made it cardboard. I don't know what quality of cardboard it'd be, but you actually get the Cantina Adventure Set cardboard backing. You see in that picture. So I reckon that, like, for a kid back in 1977, like, it's going to be tickling some pretty strong nostalgia there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I reckon the cardboard backing is brilliant, because I remember my older brothers had the cardboard. It's worth so much now. The cardboard Death Star.
Yeah.
Oh man, my parents must have chucked it out during a garage sale or something, or it just got ripped to shreds. But yeah, those cardboard play sets, man, they don't stand the test of time. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that cardboard Death Star you're talking about, the kind of spherical one, I'm pretty sure that wasn't available in the US either, which adds to the value.
Yeah, that's right.
Those US collectors.
That was a Palatoy one, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
So my wife's taken just a little nice one. Haven't you? You don't need two Banthas, Dean. Mouth open, mouth closed.
She's absolutely right. You don't need two Banthas. You need like 9 of them because of that, that scene where they're all in the...
They're all walking on the... Sarah, it's a little known fact that as men age, we need an increased amount of
I like it.
Dino Geek Strong is saying Bantha was $70, and that'd be US on Pulse, sold out on Pulse already. The 3-pack sold out. So I did see that today, that they went in like 2 minutes or something like that.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think the reason behind that is Hasbro. So they're not sure they put all of the stock on pre-order, because clearly they've got the tariff issue coming up, and so I think after the 9th or something like that, they're going to be putting their prices up. So
yeah, because everyone was saying, I think they were saying there'll be more pre-orders tomorrow, and just chill a little. Gen X Kid is saying my childhood Stormtrooper legit has meningococ. Yeah, meningococal purple dots all over him.
purple dots.
a few of my I call them my dodgy collection of Star Wars figures, because they are 70% my childhood played with, liquid papered all their feet so I could tell them apart between my older brothers and what I had and what everyone else had in the house.
Well, they're getting close to 50 years old now, some of those, right? 45, 50 years old, some of those figures. Look how bad I look at 45.
There was also a Toll Toys Death Star. Mum gave mine to the kid down the street. Yeah. That's all right. We all gave away something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Skree, what's going on? Do you have any interesting questions that you want to ask the boys? And have you learned? Have you learned?
I've learned a few. I've learned a few bit. Yeah, I have learned.
Are you now collecting Star Wars non-stop?
Oh yeah, I've already pre-ordered while we were talking. I'm stacked. It's all good. No, question for both of you. If Jason want to go first, favorite film, go.
I'm going to say Return of the Jedi. A lot of people say Empire Strikes Back, and I do love that one as well. But I think Return of the Jedi, to me, like, just all the scenes, the redemption arc of Darth Vader. I think it's a beautiful way to finish a trilogy. So yeah, I'll go Return of the Jedi. But it's a tough one though. I love all of them, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a tough one. I'm definitely an original trilogy guy as well, and I'm Return of the Jedi as well. I think because again, I think it's probably the first of the three that I watched, because I was born in 1980. So yeah. I think when that came out, or if my brothers had got it out on VHS or something, I was just of that age. And again, I just remember having more of the Ewoks in the house with the figures, and I had the pillowcase and the bed sheets, and yes. I think just as a kid, just having all of that sort of merchandise and stuff just made you full of that's exactly the pillowcase I had.
Oh, look at it!
Wow, I had that. Yeah, man, that brings back memories.
I actually sorry to steal your thunder there.
No. Good to see it.
I rebought that pillowcase because it came up and I saw it. So that one's in like perfect condition. But when I had that as a kid, and I used to, because I love Darth Vader and the bad guys now, but when I was a kid, I used to flip it over so the bad guys were underneath, so that I was sleeping on top of the good guys.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that.
So that I didn't have scary dreams or whatever.
I'm going to answer that question as well, and it is Return of the Jedi. It's the one that I most remember sliding into the VHS machine. I loved everything to do with the forest of Endor and just all that big battle that you were waiting for. But Nate's saying A New Hope is actually my favorite. It's the one I have the strongest memories of watching as my kid. I know my dad would say Star Wars, because there was no New Hope, and he still would love them to just put it out at the cinema one more time, just as the original. Never going to happen. But what about this one? The holiday special. Canon. It happened.
This is one piece of Star Wars media that I haven't been able to bring myself to watch, honestly.
Oh no.
I've never watched it.
It is like when you watch it, you're like, I can't believe they're doing this, and then it just gets really difficult. It gets really difficult to just sit there continuously and watch it. You're like, wow. But I look, if you Star Wars, you've got to know. Sci-fi saying, I'm with Jason. All gets complete and at a very fast pace. Plus crazy aliens, Ewoks, and Imperial March, definitely. So yeah, it certainly was a special. Dino saying, I still own my childhood 1978 Star Wars pillowcase. Dang,
nice.
You need to show that one. Do an Insta post, Dino. And Empire for me. A lot of people are Empire, so that's pretty funny. What about you, Skree?
I really enjoyed Rogue One, to be honest. I really enjoyed that movie. Like that was
That
a
was
really
a
good
good-
movie. Mm.
All right. I'm going
That's
to
a
ask
great
one more
choice.
question before we wrap up. And thank you, fellas. What Jedi or Sith would you like to train?
Jason.
Maybe that wasn't
I
it.
missed it. Jedi, which Jedi Sith would you like to train with?
Would you like to train? So if you were their master,
Ah.
who would you like as your Padawan?
Jeepers. Well, that rules out all the Sith because you train them up and then they
Kill you.
knock you off. So, who would I like to train? Who would I like to train? Ooh.
All right,
I'll go Yoda. I'll go
All right.
Yoda. Sorry.
I was gonna say Yoda. Yoda's cool. Anyone, Phil?
900 years old, you reach. Look as good you are not.
You practice this.
Can I just say someone Can I say Han Solo? Someone random, or
You sure
I don't
can. You got one last question, Skree? Because that one was not good.
I was actually going to answer that, and I was going to say Jar Jar Binks.
Ah,
Nice.
yes. We
Train him up.
we didn't actually have enough time to get to something, but do show a photo of something that people at Star Wars Celebrations were super excited. Probably the most exciting thing they saw at Star Wars Celebrations. If you know, you know. I don't know.
He's talking about Fortnite.
Do you have that photo?
Yeah, I can put it up. One sec.
Do you know I'd like to train Ola?
I bet you would.
Sci-fi saying watch the Star Wars Holiday Special drunk because it won't make any difference. It'll still be awesome.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
God.
Darth Jar Jar.
Is that canon now?
Yeah. If Fortnite did it, it must be canon, right? Fortnite did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if anyone doesn't know, this is part of Fortnite, a battle royale game. If you don't know what Fortnite is, they're doing like a big Star Wars event now. And it's got like all the characters you can play within the map. So it's actually really, really cool how they've done it. Like these are all skins for characters you can get. They've done like a map. They've like sort of like blended the Fortnite map with some Star Wars. You guys, lightsabers you can use. And like these are the areas you can go in and play and fight.
Oh,
You guys would know. Mm.
Does it actually look like that when you're playing it? Though?
Yeah. If you run a good PC, yeah, it does. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing.
It's actually really well done. You get to fly around in these guys as well. You can fly around and battle, which is really fun.
Yeah.
And like they've released a thing where they've taken all the old school Fortnite weapons and they've bought all like blasters. They've like incorporated the blasters with the Fortnite weapons. So that's also pretty fun too. It's really cool too because like it's all the sound effects when you're playing the game as well. So it's like you get all the Star Wars sound effects come through. So it's really cool. So you hear all the blasters going off throughout the maps. And yeah, that's it there. That's the Gallic Battle. It's actually pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Because as someone that was sitting at home watching the live stream of Star Wars Celebrations and going in and looking at the comments and things, everyone's just yelling out Fortnite. Play Fortnite. They kept it until I don't play Fortnite, but it has a big following. But they kept it until Sunday afternoon and then released it. So kind of got everyone a bit But yeah, guys.
The Drive-In. What a legend.
Oh yeah, old school.
Yeah, wow.
And Gen X Kid says he would be dead keen for a Jar Jar standalone movie. Not even joking.
Not even joking.
Can you do the Jar Jar, guys?
This guy's bomb bad. Misa don't have a bomber. Here, take it in this one. Yeah, probably have to do a Jar Jar. But...
So, guys, yeah, Phil, Jason, just a massive thank you for me being such a big Star Wars fan. It's been fun hanging out and just talking Star Wars and talking Celebration. That I'm a little envious of you guys that got to go, but yeah, it looked like you had a blast. Yeah, so thank you from me, at least.
Thanks for having us on. It's been great.
Yeah.
Great seeing Jace again and catching up with you guys.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Thank you so much for having us and celebrating Star Wars. And yeah, looking forward to seeing your collection next time, Skree. Where it's like
we all changed.
little bit more
Star Wars.
Yeah.
little bit more Star Wars creeping into the Ninja Turtles. So
All the
yeah,
green's
really
gone.
awesome to chat with you
Yeah.
guys.
Be like red, be all like Sith, dark, and yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't done like a Turtles Star Wars kind of crossover.
Oh yeah,
It'll happen.
It
That'll
definitely
be
would happen. Yeah.
It'll happen.
want to thank everyone in the chat for hanging out and just enjoying a bit of Star Wars with us on Revenge of the Sixth Day.
Been fun.
Yeah, it has been fun. And yeah, go check out Phil's channel. Go check out Jason's channel. If you like Star Wars, if you like anything collecting, toys, just the nostalgia and memories, very family orientated with Phil's as well. So it's really nice to see all that. Jason's just got a massive collection, as you can see behind him, and gets up to a whole lot of very funny reviews. And yeah, just go check out a couple of his really cool ones. But thank you, boys, again. Thank you, Skree, hanging out. And we'll sign off, guys. So appreciate it. Thank you,
See ya.
everyone.
Cheers.